I was thinking like pretty much every story that has someone who like shows up fresh somewhere, they then don't see this stuff because it takes wisdom in terms of its non-importance by definition, that it's subjective and contextual, and instead they get involved in it.
Yeah. Immediately attached, identified with their position among it.
And immediately it becomes important in that way, an attached way.
Yeah.
And
it's like hammer themselves right into a place. And actually, something I mentioned to some people in like some kind of writing and reading groups or whatever, multiple times about one of the stories that I'm writing, Vitality and Effect, one day I'll hopefully publish it, is the story has 4 different perspectives that go through the same events from like different angles. So obviously the plot's totally different, the vibe of the story is totally different, etc. And I explained how you can read them in any order. It didn't really matter, but you can only read them in an order once, because if you read one story, it spoils things for others. Things that would be mysteries here are not mysteries in others. So if you read this one, it spoils the mysteries for another, and like it's just a mess. So you can only read it once, like for the first time, a single time. And every single person that reads it in a different order is going to have a totally different experience of the story. So if you see, like, it's the same thing with all of life. Like, wherever you are, as soon as you encounter something or somebody or whatever, the way you initially go about it, if you're attached to things, if you're not aware and not balanced, you're immediately going to get a positionality based on that immediate kind of first impression type of thing, and hammer yourself into the place that you are. You'll have a perspective of how things are, what's good, what's bad about it, like all these things, simply because you lack the awareness to see things for what they are.
This brings us back to change being the only thing that learns is learning. The change is the only thing that is learning.
Yeah. So yeah, to go into things, and regardless of which way you go in, you don't like look at like say you meet 4 people, which is basically just how this discussion works. But the people that I told this to, or like shared this idea, concept of a book, it's not even like new or anything, they're all like amazed or just starting to go into every single time of like, wow, yeah, because of the way I was explaining, I'm not like going to go into detail here, but like they would look at one and be like, wow, that character would be really cool if I didn't know about these, so I'd probably want to read that one first. But then if I read this first, then I would look at them and be like, whoa, that's really intense. Like, what's going to happen all the way through? And it's like, it just completely warps the way you see something.
Like
it's exactly the same every time.
Yeah, there might be books already like that people have read, even those people, and that happened to them, but they weren't aware of that dynamic that is potentially capable of that. Right?
People are doing that with all of life all the time, and often, for the most part, almost 99% of the time, completely unaware of that dynamic and that thing happening.
Yeah.
That's what's happening literally all the time.
Yeah.
With every single piece of content
you ever run into. Yeah, I mean, it is never talked about ever, as far as I'm aware.
It's only brought up when somebody does something really weird, like writes 4 books in a row, and then
that mirrors how life works.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.